Morning, everyone. Morning. Congratulations, those of you who traded overnight. All right, beautiful, nice move as expected. Okay, as expected. There's the balance range. All right, we've talked about this countless times. Right, we've rejected it now after the push up on earnings. Monday, Tuesday, high of week. Anyone who's done the course knows what comes next. All right, we're looking downside pressure. So trains left the station. Congrats those who've got it. Hopefully lots of you got it because I had you prepared. The newsletter had you prepared. Everything had you prepared. You just had to wait to get through earnings. Right, so we are now in an outside bar. You can see this is absolutely critical here into around 700. We have Bollinger Bands expanding, downside, upside, 20-day, 5-day, 20-day cross, 50 starting to roll over. And if we see expansion under here, all right, if 7s let go, we're attacking 4s. And if those let go, like I continue to say, there is very much a chance of a back test of this old high because we've left a lot of liquidity trapped above. Trains left the station, so we're going to have to find a way of getting involved. Now, I'm going to stay short side today because of the macro environment. I'm going to go over that now, or as we go through this, and what's changed and what's happened. If you followed me on X last night, you would have seen a post on it. The first thing we're just going to do is the technicals, though. Okay, daily. What do we have on the daily? Right, very simple, or the hourly, sorry. We are leaving previous day's value above. Right, so we are in expansion model lower. Now, your trigger here, if you didn't take the shorts early, your trigger here was 6 a.m. Right, between 6 a.m. and what's this, the 9 a.m. candle? Right here, that's a failure to get back inside of yesterday's value. That is your trigger short. All right, and then your TP1, TP2, and we're going to have to see if we get expansion underneath this now. Now, that's why I want to stay focused on shorts today. Now, where's the best area to be short? It's what is this? Let's get rid of you. What are you doing there? It's very simple, isn't it? All right. It's a back test of here. All right. If we're lucky enough that they want to hold this pivot and back test there, we're going to get a sell opportunity. All right. If they get through this pivot, they might push a little bit further in towards 29,000, 2920s and then fail back under the pivot. We're going to get a sell opportunity. If they get back inside the pivot and they push all the way out to previous day value area low, we're going to get a sell opportunity. All right, because I now know current week, previous week, previous day are all caught. If they're buyers, I want to be sell side. The problem is the location right now to be a seller. Train's left the station, right? It's left the station and it's puking. So if we're lucky, we'll get an upside lift. Now, if we don't get the upside lift, there are a few setups here, all right? Even if we don't even get one of these little lifts here to sell into, there's a few setups. The first will be, and I probably will not take this, we'll look below and fail for this drive up. The second one I am interested in, though, is a build out of liquidity here that is then resold, all right? I will consider that today. I really don't want just straight moves down. It might come, the panic might start, and I'm going to explain to you why, but we will see. If there's a build out here, I'll consider it. I will not really be looking for this move today. I really want to stay short side because of the macro environment. Okay, and let's get into that now and talk about what's changed. All right, 5 minute. We'll do ES and spiders first, and then I'll focus on the capex spend and what's happened. All right, so ES starting to knife through everything as well. You're starting to leave ranges now and roll over as the market starts to go risk off now. The wider market is without a doubt starting to go risk off. You want to see, it was only last night I said we're not quite there, but we might be there soon kind of thing is what I was posting last night. ES, you're looking for a back test of, yeah, I'd say 70s for a resale. If they get through 70s, you're looking for the 500s for the resale. If they reclaim everything, they'll go right away back into this chop. But you can see liquidity has been built. Your backside of that move, you're looking for downside pressure, right? Spiders, same thing. Into a 5 minute, you're into the bottom side of the range, you're starting to crack, right? Very clear. Your backside of this move, you want pops to fail, and then you're looking for downside pressure. You're going to have to zoom out to go further back. All right, so you want this pop here, 40s, to lift somewhere up towards 44s if you're lucky, maybe even 45s, and then a resell, and then the next covering opportunity is probably here, 36s and then 32s. We'll just have to see how they go today. All right, Q, same thing, downside pressure. You see we're about to, well, we've already filled the gap. There's your old gap. All right, and we're about to undercut these. All right, and then if we undercut them, we're going to see if we get that. Ideally, we don't undercut them and we come for a back test to sell into first. It's going to make it much, much easier for us to get a premium price without taking out a low-hanging fruit, or a better price, even if not premium. Okay, so why has all this happened? It's all to do with CapEx spend, all right? So Google earnings last night, blowout earnings, absolutely fantastic earnings, but they increased their CapEx spend. Their balance book now is not good. We already know they're raising money from bonds and other financial methods now to fund this ridiculous CapEx spend. Now that CapEx spend is all going into the semiconductors. So the initial reaction on that, which was, I can't remember what it was, over 200 billion, was, hey, we're spending this. And when they said, we're just getting started, we're not slowing down. And then the market was like, what the fuck? Seriously? How many billions are you going to spend? Is it going to be trillions? All right. So what we then got was the rest of the MAG, who are obviously yet to have their earnings. We are now predicting they're going to say the same thing. Remember, the lift on the MAG came because Meta was like, hey, we're going to redo this model. We're probably spending a bit too much. So we thought maybe everyone else would do that. No. They're going to spend more. Initial reaction then was to sell the MAG last night, but it was to bid the SOX. Right, that was the initial reaction. Here's the bid when they said that. What I said last night on X was, the moment I'm going to feel more confident about getting short side and not just de-risking, but actually putting pressure on downside market, is when the semis say, hey, this is also ridiculous. We can't keep pricing this in any further. Well, that has without a doubt started to happen, right? MAGS is starting to crack and the SOX has also rolled over, all right? So we're not seeing the upside pressure in semiconductors while MAGS rolling over. We're seeing alignment of a sell right now. And can we do this on extended? Right, there we go. So we're seeing alignment, MAG and semis. All right, so we have to be aware of that. That's what's causing this flush. We have to be very, very aware of that pressure. So if we look beyond that as well, like I mentioned yesterday, Treasuries, 30-year, I'm on the wrong one. Let's just zoom this back. All right, Treasuries 30-year breaking out. All right, and this will be a multi-month, multi-week, multi-year breakout. And this is not good. Now, this is the longest we've been above 5 since, yeah, you've guessed it, 2008. All right, so this is really stagflation and inflationary pressure starting to show. That is very bad for the market environment because it means borrowing is going to be more expensive. On top of that, and this is what I mean about the macro environment, crude, all right? I said it's approaching 90s last night. It's above it, all right? It's now above the 90s, all right? Inflationary pressure if this continues to move up. Dixie, all right, looking like it's holding our box, isn't it? RBS, breakout, two-leg pullback, held, looks like it wants more upside. Again, problem for the market. And VIX above 20 is going to be a major trigger, and it ain't far away, folks. All right, so macro environment really does not look very good right now. Now, it might take some days, weeks, months for this to all play out and shake out. It might not be that we see all the downside pressure come today. But given what I've talked about last night, given what we're seeing this morning, I want to be very, very careful in any upside move this morning. I feel much more comfortable selling pops today because of that. All right. Now, Apple, this is going to have relative strength. It's still going to be weak, but relative strength because it doesn't have the same CapEx spend. So Apple gapping down today. Amazon getting absolutely smacked. You're going to see this story here that's continue to develop into a key level. Google obviously getting absolutely wrecked. We're going to flip this now. Meta getting sold into. We're going to flip this now. You see the story of the CapEx? Microsoft, right? Flush yesterday. We're actually going sideways, which is somewhat surprising. I'm surprised there isn't more downside pressure here. It might just be a structural thing. Let's just zoom this out. Yeah, it is. We're at that neutral zone. I am somewhat surprised that this is not seeing more downside pressure, but it might be yet to come. Nvidia, all right, rolling over from yesterday, coming back to this LBS zone, all right, right here. Nvidia into 207s, we'll have to watch it into there. Tesla got whacked as well. Guess what it does is also increased its capex spend, as well as Elon saying the robot's the hardest thing they've ever had to do. Well, you know, nuked, all right? This is a very bad look, folks. It's a very, very bad look. Failed to get back above the 420s, all right? Failed to hold pivot, failed to hold this breakdown, now attacking liquidity at 335. I mean, it's terrible look. It's a really, really bad look. So the easiest move today, in my mind, is going to be a drift up. Now, is there strength elsewhere? We'll see if software catches a bit of bid, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't, to be quite honest. I wouldn't be surprised if we go into a rollover in general on the broader market today. It really wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. On top of that, you obviously have the Trump news this morning. Threats of bombing Iran every time. I can't remember what he said. We'll bomb your bridges and something else every time that you hit a ship or something like that. I can't remember, but it was some form of threat. All right, it was enough to make the market say, well, this isn't going to slow down anytime soon, is it? This isn't going to be a ceasefire anytime soon. So yeah, lots of circulation of news. Let me just check the calendar very quickly. Yeah, nothing more to come. Nothing more to come. So into key pivot here. Let me just set these up. We're into key pivot here, and we'll see. I would like this to find a bid here. I really would. I feel much, much, much more confident in selling this on a drive up. And do you know what I'm just going to put on here just as a little bit of help from 6, just so I see this into the open. Yes. All right. I would love a drive up. I'm going to take note of these thin volume areas. So we're going to have a little node here. And it would be really lovely if we could break over that and test one of these. It would be really nice if they could do that for us today before we see increased downside pressure. I should also mention we're negative gamma, which means your ATR is likely to drastically increase. All right, just be aware of that. All right, folks, we're a few minutes away. You should be prepared. We should mention, I guess, you know, we should be sensible here on the daily. We are at this lower Bollinger Band. All right, we are at this 700 and lower Bollinger Band. All right, so we really would like an upside drive to sell into. All right, that would be much, much safer. Obviously, under here, it's very unlikely that we close under here unless we get a black swan environment day. Unless the whole market today, they're like, fuck, we want out, we're risk off. Maybe we get a black swan environment. Remember, we thought, you know, it's potential to have it here, didn't happen, saved it. Well, it's potential again. We're not just going to buy this because we're at the lower Bollinger Band. All right, that's not how it works. It's more an area where we're saying, hey, very, very risky to get short down there. Ideally, they lift this. Now, there were some sellers down here, just so that you're aware. Right, there's some very, very aggressive selling at 49s and at 700s. Okay, so maybe they use those for a lift up in the morning, which would be ideal. I won't be playing the drive higher. I will not be playing the drive higher. I will be looking for the short today. Okay, make that very, very clear here. We're under that big 700 level on the Qs. That's the massive, was a huge call wall. It's now a put wall. And I'll tell you, the range today, they are now expecting rather large range, right? Potentially all the way down to 28,400s today is potentially being priced in on the expected move. So just be aware of that. It's a large range because we're in negative gamma now. All right, 10 seconds left. Good luck, folks. I'm hoping for a drive higher here to start the day. I can sit on my hands and let them finish peeking out. It would be really nice if they would do that for us. They might not do it for us, but it would be lovely if they would. Already snapping lower. There's liquidity sweep, so that's the stop run. Underneath that blue box, an old pivot dating back to Friday the 17th now. Remember, I'm waiting for us somewhere up here. Would be nice. If they don't do it, I'm going to have to let liquidity build out down here. Because I do not really want to short the lows, especially without liquidity. And hopefully semis can lift here. They are trying. Nice drive on semis. This thing's just going to melt. It's possible we get black swan. Nice drive on semis up to 156s would be good. Hopefully this can turn around and lift a bit. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's get some volume on him before I forget. So it's going to require patience today because of where we're opening. Unfortunately, it could be an A+ day if they will lift it. TradingView struggling to put volume on there for a bit. It's not a good sign. All right, semis coming flying up into 156. They bid off 150. They're coming for 156. They can potentially close their gap at 160 on the semiconductors. Mag remaining heavy. VIX pulling up back off that old wick high from the 22nd. So we're going to watch 19s here if VIX bid it for that move up to 20s. Otherwise, they're going to come back down to 18s. There we go. Hopefully they can lift this up and get above that seller at 50s and then start squeezing either to this box, or if we get very lucky above the grey box somewhere up there would be delicious. If you want to play the counter trend long, I totally understand. It's just not what I'm going to look for today. There we go. This is good. This is what we want to see. All right, VIX into 19s. Semis through 156s, so they look like they might go 160 and close the gap, which is really good. That will help this thing lift. What we need to be careful of, like I've talked about, is the rotation today. All right, already seeing semis lift, mag sell, software sell. All right, want semis to come up here and make a decision. Nice and patient here, folks. That was instantly sold into, and then an instantly bid off that New York Open. So nice and patient. Remember, all the way up here is where we would really like. We might not get it. We might really like all the way up here. It might not come at all, but I'm going to just wait patiently for a little bit here to see if we can get some decent relief. Semi starting to get a bit stuck here. I watch this New York Open carefully. If they're going to flush this and stay heavy, we'd have to consider it because it would be a green to red move on the day, but I would much rather they lift this higher. Back to where those sellers came in. Semis back under 156s now. There's that sell pressure being absorbed, 95s and under. All right, so they're absorbing 95s and under at the moment. Still going to try and wait if possible. Mag holding on for dear life here. Please come up, please come up, please come up, please come up, please come up. Give us a better location. Where's this gone? I'd love it up there. I don't know if it's possible. What time do I have the other stuff set to? On this one, it's on a one. On this one, sorry, it's on a 1 minute. On my screens over here, I have it on a 5 minute. Okay, this is perfect. This is what we want to see. Right, so any of you who took the counter trend long, you want to be trimming some of your profits into this grey box. This is a high volume node from pre-market. If we get through this grey box, there is potential relief all the way up there. That would be the best location for me to be short in today. Again, it's a choice for me not to get long here. I'm choosing not to get long. I want to stay focused on one thing. Spy a nice upside lift here as well. So on the spiders, potentially, if they get lucky, they can push up towards the 90s, that pivot, where is it? Yeah, 90s, maybe even the 500s and VWAP, potentially. But if you did get long, you want to be locking in some in this grey box. This is a high volume node, and if you get a break over this node, we're very thin all the way up to here. So I'm going to expect somewhere in here, sellers are probably going to be hanging out. How do I stop the itch to jump in? Well, there's nothing for me to do right now. I'm going to be focused on the shorts, like I talked about, because of the macro environment. It's a big rejection of that node so far. So I'm going to be focused on the shorts, and the location's poor for the shorts. So that stops me jumping in. Obviously, there are long opportunities here if you want. I'm personally not focusing on them. I want the pro trend opportunity. It's just how I trade. Especially in negative gamma, where we can have big moves. I want to be in the pro trend where possible. All right, ES trying to bid over its New York VWAP right now. See if it can hold a bid there. SPY, same kind of deal. Q's coming up to their VWAP, 24-hour VWAP coming up. Oh, and of course it's put fucking, what is this garbage it's put on? Let's take that off. Let's take this off. All right. Now, if we get lucky, we come for a back test up here. Now, this was where the big seller was pre-market, 50s. Through him, and then we had delta divergence. So above 50s, this can print now, and we're kind of thin up towards 80s. There is an unfinished auction up at 80s, so maybe your longs keep going up there. The higher, the better for you guys. If you can get up there, it'd be great. Right, semi's about to fill their gap at 160. So just look at this. Very different market. Mag, software, semis. All right. This is the danger of the rotation. So I'm being very patient this morning. Only semis going up. Yes, they're going up because the mag are spending all their money on them. All right, they're having to refinance. Just let that sink in. They're having to refinance and do swaps and bond deals so that they can finance their spend on AI. All right, so semis are the beneficiary of that, aren't they? Of course they are. So they're going up on that. Now, if we've just got swept here, I'm interested. Can we just sweat this high here? This is a LVN. If we come under here and stay heavy, I'm going to be interested in the sell here. So watching this very carefully now. Semis just, they're a tick short of PDC there. So if we pop and fail in towards 800 now, I'm going to try and get sell side. We're into previous week close here. I'll be very careful of the build out of liquidity down here. Our previous week close is 73, so I'd expect them to try and hold 73s to 70s and then test the 800 and make a decision here. It's the 800. I'm just waiting here. There's still liquidity high. Still no entry for me yet. Just being patient. Here comes the lift from this buyer. So they held previous week close. They're trying to lift back above again. So this is the first level of interest for me is like if they do this move here. Otherwise, I'd like something like this here. And hopefully they don't just grind it up all day. Hopefully they do give us the short opportunity today and don't just hold it for tomorrow. Like I said, we have to be very careful. Right, back to previous week close. So that's a rejection of a break above 800 there. But again, still holding previous week close here at 74, 70, 73 on the nose, I think it is. Yeah, I see the LVN 830 into 860. I kind of have it somewhere around there. You got 820 to 850, so there or thereabouts. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. It's definitely there. And we have an imbalance up there as well. Okay, so continued upside pressure. Semi's trying to fill this gap. So they're at cool wall right now. Cool wall 4. It's not the biggest one. So they're trying to fill their gap on the semiconductors. VIX as well, trading at 1871. So that thing's cooled off a bit, helping this upside stretch. There's potential here that ES might want to do a break and push up here towards 90 still as well. So remember, this is the better area where we're really interested in. If we can get up there for a retest or even up at previous day's value area low, it'd be great. But somewhere up here, I'd be super interested in this market. MAG coming back towards its New York view up here. Rejection there, first look. We'll watch MAG at New York and at 24, right? The 24-hour view up is its New York open. So if MAG suddenly finds a bid with semis pushing, obviously we lift harder, right? And we now have to respect this grey box, all right? Because there's a structural change here in the lower time frame. There's 20s. Semi's almost at gap fill. They've almost done it. There's 30s. Continue to push here. Patient, patient, patient. We don't want to be front side on anything. If you're counter trend long, you want to be protecting this grey box now, all right? If you've been counter trend long, buy stuck at that high at 30. 85 lot stuck at that high at 30. Just seen him. There's still liquidity at 50 and above, but I've noticed that guy, right? They've let him out straight away. There's still an imbalance at 50. There's still an unfinished auction at 80 right now. Let's see how high they want to come here. Here comes the squeeze. There's MAG to the New York Open. This is what you've got to be concerned about, is this turnaround if they go into alignment up. All right, PDC through PDC, MAG now through VWAP, ES continuing to break down. I wonder if Qs need 700. That put wall retest, that was a cool wall back in the day. No, I cannot show ES levels, mate. I'm trading NQ. You're going to have to use your own brain in your own chart. Sorry. You missed it. We did it. It happened. Okay, sellers trying here. They're going to get squeezed out here. I think this is going to come right the way up to these boxes. Big old squeeze. MAG through the New York Open, squeezing. Semis through PDC. Qs look like they want the 700, which would be 940 for us. So anywhere up into these levels up here, I'm going to get interested in to see if there's a big rejection or a turnaround. All right, anywhere up into these levels, I'm going to start to get interested. All right, MAG stuttering there. Big buyers continuing to come in up here. There was a big seller here at 65s. We're above him right now. There's still liquidity up to 912s at the moment. I'm just looking for, we are starting to get extended, which is good, away from everything. Looking for that blow off and rejection if it's going to come. And the seller at 65s is still out of position at the moment. All right, watching this very carefully now at 65s. It's imbalances below, down to 41s here if they want to come. Back to 65s. I'm watching this guy here. Okay, back over him. Still no trade. Big rejection on the mag there. There's opening range high. It feels close here. All right, back under 65s. See if we can get risk on if they push and fail. Up here, anywhere up here if they push and fail. LVNs are being respected right now, so we've got to be very careful. We need an acceleration and failure. That's 65 rejection again then. All right, I'm going risk on here. Small size for the sell. Very, very small. I'm expecting higher, but if just in case this is it. Versus 65s. I need one more leg. Here we go. Beautiful. All right, let's see. We had to have to cover some into these now. Oh, there, now they've shifted it into 20s. So covered some into 20s there. If they reclaim 65s, I'm out on the runner, which is fine. I'm expecting higher still at the moment, just based on what I'm seeing. But VIX is starting to grab a bid here, which is good. No, I'm not long. For fuck's sake, guys. You've got to be trolling. I'm going to close chat. If you guys can't listen and don't turn up at the beginning of the show, I will close chat down. I have to concentrate today. Is an A+ scenario here setting up. Got to be kidding me. Max Wick's low of day turned back inside here. We've got to be careful with that. Right in my entry at the moment. I think we're going to do one more leg higher by the looks of it at the moment. We're still holding on here. And with a big seller came in at 37s and at 65s. So under 37s, we can see pressure to the grey box. We might need another leg up into here at the moment, I'm thinking. But we're still short. All right, mag, low day here. See if they can get follow through. Semis are at PDC and they're basing. That's going to be very, very dangerous for us. If semis want to push to 170 and mag doesn't break low of day, it's going to be dangerous to us. So just manage your risk accordingly here. Very, very small size here. I've not sized into this because I'm not seeing follow through yet. Yeah, they're absorbing here. Come on. Get out of the way, mate. New lower day mag. Need semis back under 160. If they keep holding 160, it's going to be a very hard trade here today. Looking a little bit better here. Here we go. Fantastic. All right, covering some here. And we'll see if we can get under this grey box for downside pressure now. 600 lot seller just came on the tape here at 810. Be very aware of that. We don't really want it above him. VP looking weird, yeah, it's very spiky, isn't it? It's very spiky. All right, semis under 160, we look good. I would like this to stay heavy at 10s if possible. We've covered some into this grey box. If we get under this grey box, we're going to look for low of day. The LVN disappeared. Yeah, we've traded into it, so it will. We've used up the volume. Right, ES into its put wall here at 60. Is that 65s? Yeah, 65s. So we're still looking for pops to fail here. Be aware they can do second leg higher. If they want to hold this grey box, it can. Remember, we're in negative gamma. It can move very, very fast today. So be very careful with your sizing. The ATR will increase. We're looking good here. This is under previous week close. I'm going to see if we can stay heavy here and look for low of day and expansion now. This is why we had to be patient today. This is the LVN. The LVN was in here. There's the failure. There's our short. We want this now. We went over all of this pre-market. There's a reason I'm focused on shorts today. I made it absolutely clear. We're into value area low for the session now, so you can cover more here if you want. And we will be looking for expansion model here, folks. All right. VIX back above the 19s. I'd love to see VIX rip to 20s today and this thing just go nuke town. Pay yourself some no matter what. Move your stop into the money. Be proactive. We do not want this above 809s. 809s is well below where we got short. All right, 89s, 810s. We don't want it back above that. There's an unfinished auction higher if they want to do it. So move your stop into the money. Be proactive. All right, that was a 100-point trade there in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. What is this? When did I draw that? Right, we'd like grey box to stay heavy. And we'd like 160 rejection here on semis. That would help us quite a lot. We'd like previous week close to stay heavy. And we can just hold this for downside pressure if it will. Big buy here, 750s. There's a 500 lot buyer. It would be nice to get underneath him. Big wiggle here on the tape. All right, ES at that put wall. Just dunked under it, retesting it from underneath now. Like I said, it could be very, very, very volatile today. All right, coming for this 500 lot is 750. Hopefully we break him and go low of day here. Here we go, folks. Come on, get under him. Covering a bit more there because they're trying to bid it at 750s. Just being proactive here. I'm cautious because I know how whippy this can be. If we can get under this, we can get low of day. Here we go. All right, so big 500 lot. Next 500 lot is at 12s. Here we go, folks. Let's see if we can increase the pressure here. And then low of day, we'll look for the expansion model underneath. All right, into New York Open here. Fantastic. Plan playing out, right? Simple plan. I was ignoring the longs. I'm waiting for the push up. I'm waiting for buyers to get trapped, and I'm looking for a pro trend short. Really, really simple. Why am I doing that? Macro environment. Macro environment tells me that I was right yesterday, that the peak out, the high of week was going to be Tuesday, that we're going to go into a weekly model. I'm expecting new weekly lows. All right. If you've done the course, you should know what I'm talking about. This is an A+ model. The A+ short happened last night, unfortunately, while I was asleep. So we had to wait for pops this morning, and that's what this is, pops to fail. I was small size. Small size can still mean like 3-4 micros for me, mate. Right? Small size means I'm not trading, 3-4 minis out the gate. Where should we be covering? Some now and then lower day, right? New York Open is where we are now, right? And then lower day. And our stop should be proactively protecting 800 now. All right, MAG, new lows, looking good. VIX above 19s, looking good. Semis back under 160s, looking good. So we wouldn't mind a bit of liquidity build out here. Back towards 800's okay, and then a resale would be great. All right, if they want to do this for us, it would be great. Or this, it would be great. All right, if they do this, we're not touching it because it means they want to come up here. You somehow flopped that, don't worry. Look, plenty of day left. Look, we're 23 minutes into the day, right? You've got plenty of day left. Don't stress it. Don't kick yourself. These are hard trading environments. Like the moves are there, but the range is big, and if you don't understand what's going on, if you don't understand the macro environment, it can make it very hard. All right, that's why I try and go over everything pre-market with you guys. All right, so here's the 800 test. Like I said, there's an unfinished auction at 833s. I will be cutting this in the money at 810 here. And this is the semis again. There they go. Found a bid. Mag's trading lower. IGV and semis have suddenly found a bid together. The rotation starting. All right, stop me out there to the tick. Thanks very much. I'll still watch this short side if they reject and come back under. Semi's looking for a breakout here to 170s by the look of it. Or at least a previous day high. Big buyers coming in here. If they don't get their way, it's going to perk my interest again. But we're back over the grey box now. And do you know what? I'm going to maybe remove that. Oh, don't do that. Maybe remove that. There we go. Oh, have to respect higher low put in here now versus New York Open. Have to respect that. Have to consider that they might want to come all the way up here. Have to consider over that they can come all the way up here if they're adamant today. All right, another big buyer getting caught up here. 300 lot at 24s. I say caught. Like, we'll see. If we come back under VPOC, I will think about a short again here. Yes to view up, SPY to view up. This is so tempting here. It's very trappy. If pops fail here, I'm going to get short again. Don't run away from me. Please don't run away from me. I want to watch it into 10s. Fuck me. Don't run away from me. Don't run away from me. So huge buyers just got caught there again. All right, big buyers, 500 lot, 300 lot, and 100 lot all just got caught there. So 804. So if we can pop back up towards 800s, I want to get short side again. I don't really want to get short side into 750. It's where the seller last got trapped. So there's a 50-point rotation here. If we can't get it, then I'm going to have to play the break underneath all of this. So if they don't give me this, I'm going to have to play this part of it. Here's the 750s. You cheeky fucks, you're not going to let me in. All right, we're going to have to play the next leg underneath all of this now then. All right, I'm going to have to play this leg here if they're going to give it to me. Be careful of the range, right? There's a D shape developing down here. So we're going to need to see a breakdown underneath this if we're going to short. We don't short into the range low here. Can try and put some of these bubbles on because they might help you a little bit, all right? Oh, wouldn't let me in. Wouldn't let me in. All right, it's starting to break down here. Let's see if we can get a short. Semis into their range where they keep trying to catch a bid. So we've got to be very careful. Very, very careful here. If it gives us a little sell opportunity. Any pop, I'm just waiting for a little, some form of relief back up here. Even into 750 here. 720 to 750. Semi's trying to find a bid. Here's the move to 20. So watching 20s to 50 here to see if they sell it. Here's 25s. Okay, put some on there. Versus 50 here. They break 50, I'm out. Because they're going to come back inside. All right, this New York Open is tough, man. This is a tough location to look for downside here. Mag holding on here, got to be careful. We need a new low here and we need it quick. They had the ability to do it then and they didn't. They need a new low here. I'm watching the tape. They've got to push this down under the 12s and they've got to do it fast. Otherwise, we're going to see more upside relief before we move lower. Come on, get under these 12s. There's the 12s. Okay, good. And we should see follow through now. Who's this guy? Just under 12s that just came in. All right, I'm out. Took it flat there. We're going to 50s. Washed 12s and then he came in right underneath. All right, it's not ready. It ain't ready. First break even of the day. Range day, mate. You guys are so adamant. We're 30 minutes in. We're 30 minutes in. We're 30 minutes in. All right, 30 minutes. Just relax, calling what kind of day it's going to be. And we're 30 minutes in. For now, yes, in the New York session, we're in some form of range. We're building out liquidity, all right? In 30 minutes, we're building out liquidity after, I don't know, what is it, like a 400, 500 point sell-off, all right? It's allowed to do it. Relax, relax. Relax, relax, relax. Shrink these down so I can see a bit more. And the setting is here, 50. Yeah, they're having another go for this. They just lifted it above that 50 player. That's what they wanted to do. Still considering this short. I know you're like, it's a value area low and it's a demand block in New York Open. I know, but macro environment is suggesting lower. Seller exhaustion down here. I want to be very careful. So that towards the 50. We'll watch the 50 here. Lots of liquidity to fill lower here. I'm looking for a pop to fill here. They just popped 30s. Just want to see if they fill these guys at 37s. I don't think they are. We're going to drift lower here, I think. Where was that last buyer? Who's 12s, wasn't he? He's there again. 12s to 700, and then it's at 87s. I'm trying to see if they're popped to give me a fill on a short here. And if they break 750, they can come straight up to 810s. That's the scary thing. I think we're building liquidity to break lower here as long as semis stay under that 160 and PDC. That changes, the environment changes. Here's the 150. Right, let's make a decision here, market, please. Very whippy on this tape. They keep holding New York Open. They're bidding 12s now. And again, he's bid 22s now. And he's still bidding 12s. Delta divergence of that last candle at the high. So it's suggesting they're trying to get downside. I don't think it's coming yet, though. They keep bidding and bidding and bidding down here. Let's see if they swipe and fail. Remember, the better short location is all the way up here, so we have to be aware of that. There's previous week close again. 50's now being bid. Still nothing. I don't want to touch this right now while this bid's trying to walk up. ES back to put wall and VWAP. So that 65 levels key. Back under the 50s. Can't get through previous week close. Here comes the bid again, supporting 37s now. Now supporting 60s. I have to be so patient here today. Semis over 160 into previous day close. This is absolutely key now. Semis break through here, this thing squeezes. It's just a fact. And they're going for it. Here comes the semis. So this is a leave alone. They are not willing to let these semiconductors go. They're adamant on bidding them at the moment. I do not want to fight them because they can easily go 170s. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've talked about it, haven't we? Like, they've made it very hard now to trade the indexes. I've talked about this relentlessly. The rotation from mag to semiconductors makes it very, very hard to trade because it's very rare we get pro-trend moments or alignment moments where these are all in agreement. And that's making it hard. It's making it very, very hard. We have to be almost in scalp mode. And it makes me concerned. I posted about it last night. Like, if the CapEx spend keeps going into semis, I'm waiting for the day where semis don't find a bid. Well, that happened overnight, but this morning they decided they were going to bid it. I mean, they decided they were going to sell mag more but bid semis. What can you do? We can only trade what's in front of us. If they're not willing to go in alignment, it's very, very hard. Do I have an X yet? All my socials are the same, at Flowzone Trader. It's not that it's purposeful, mate. It's that's how it works, right? It's not like they're trying to make it. They're not trying to make it hard for us, but the Mag 7 are spending on the semiconductors, so the profit is going up and up and up in the semiconductors, and the balance sheet's going down and down and down in the Mag. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Yeah, I saw that for the carry trade. I did have a look at that. Question now is, will they actually go for a relief up here? All right, semi's looking strong here at high of day. They're looking for that breakout towards previous day high in 170 by the looks of it. Here they go. So a new high day here on semiconductors. And then they're going to look for previous day high and the 170 cool wall. We're back to 750 again. Look at this wash. New low day on the mag. I mean, it's just insane. It's semis failed. So fail breakout and semis there. They can still hold 160s. They are pinned right in. If you're looking at 5 minute, you'll see what I'm talking about. Do we have a go at this? Do we have a go at this? We're going to need lifts into 750s. Otherwise, we can't really do much. New York open here. We're just trading value area low. We need a pop up towards 750, or we need a clean break below all of this and then a wash. So into these 12s again. There's still bids are still at 687s. All right, I'm risk on here for that New York open tap. I want 750, but it won't come. So see if we can break lower here into these 87s. There's all the liquidities here. All right, paying myself some here. Now we're going. Same move as I wanted before. They just had to mess around a little bit. Right, mag absolutely nuking. Great breakdown here on semis though. So there's a fail break higher. We should take out lower day now and we can start attacking down here. So we want to stay heavy versus New York Open. We definitely want to stay heavy versus 750s. I don't expect them. Let me just check this low. Are they going to protect this low? There was some divergence in here. Was this pre-market? Is that opening 5 minutes? Okay. So New York open here. This is my entry. They can lift this up to 750 if they want. Semi's back at 160. Fuck me, these things can't make their mind up. This is what's causing the problem here, folks, just so you can understand why I'm always constantly looking over here. All right, let's go to the socks on. All right, this was supply. This is previous day's high. Buyers just got caught on that last push. We need semis just to break down. If semis go into the sell, we're going to get the pro alignment move, right? That was the 50 tap. You just had it. And buyers just got stuck there at 50. You had 200 lots stuck there at 50. So if you shorted that 50, just move your stop to 50 now. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Am I reading that chart on the left? Yeah. When I look over here, that's what I'm looking at. But I put it on that monitor so you could understand what I'm looking at. Still looks good here. 750 rejection. We want to get under the New York Open, undervalue, and expand lower now. Mag low of day is coming. It's coming. We should move lower here. Come on, semiconductors. Just fuck off for a minute. Let us get our move. Jesus, fuck me. Semis, seriously, fuck off. Fuck off with this chop, please. Fucking 4 months of it now. It's fucking doing my nutting. I'm green on the day, but it's still doing my nutting. Please. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous what you're doing here, pinning it. On a call, you pinned it on a call wall. Either break out or break down. Just don't go sideways. Yeah, they don't understand. Well, they don't understand because we printed it up for a year based on CapEx spend. We're going to keep putting CapEx spend. What happens when they can't finance the CapEx spend? What happens when yields break out and the financing of that CapEx spend costs more money? This is what we're into. This is the situation we are now into. All right, 750 still rejection here. Be careful here because if you're shorting this and they don't break lower, it would be numerous attempts and it would be absorption, and that's when shorts get caught right at lows. Just be aware of that, and the relief can be insane. Semis back to PDC. They look like they want breakout again. They're having another go. They're above their call wall now. I'll zoom this in. Yeah, they want more. They want more, man. You can't fight this at the moment. Here comes the squeeze. This is getting silly. This is getting silly. Why bother trading New York? Honestly, the amount of times I'm coming to this session and the move's gone is pretty frustrating at the moment. Spy bouncing off the put wall? Not really. The put wall was at 40. You're just trading in and around it. You're not above it and closing above it and holding it. So I wouldn't say you're bouncing. The biggest put wall is 40. The second biggest put wall is 36 today. Here go the semis. Trying to break out again. If they break, this thing can rocket up here. That's the problem. What an awful market they've served us this morning so far. I'm waiting for this to change. Back to New York Open here. Semis back to 160s again. Bid here at New York Open again. How we've not broken lower day is beyond me. Here come really, really big sellers now. Semi's now under 160. All right, let's see if we can try again here if they're willing. See if New York Open fails here. Otherwise, we're going 750 again, and Alex will be very frustrated. New York Open. Semi's bid 160. Straight back up to PDC again. Can we stop playing games here? Do you fancy stop playing games here for a moment, semiconductors? Honestly. We are wedged in. Mag, new low of day. Everything's bearish other than semiconductors right now. Everything's wanting to break down other than semiconductors. They are holding on by a thread. I think we will get it. It's just making it very, very tricky for us. Head on a brick wall here, folks. Once this goes, we're thin and we can attack this lower day, and then maybe we can think about these, which is what I'm trying to do here. Here it comes. They're trying again. Oh my God. They just sold so hard into 700 and got absorbed. Someone just refresh bid about 5 times there. And again, and again. Get out of the way. New lower day mag. Still bleeding. Semi's still just stuck and holding on. No follow through. Isn't this mad? That's mag. That's semis. We've got no follow through. Nothing. This doesn't even matter anymore. It's almost at a point where it's pointless watching the Mag 7. They have such little weight on the market nowadays. How have you got 60% weight, but you can gap down and puke and it doesn't make a difference anymore? It's actually pretty nuts. All right, ES holding on. Looks like it wants to backtest 65 again, which is backtested numerous times today. Mag's starting to find a bid here. Careful. Oh, I'm done with it. I had another go there. I can't keep going at this. Cannot keep going with this. Gonna have to wait for clean moves. I can't keep sitting in 40 points of chop non-stop. Semis need to fuck off, and until that point, I think I need to leave this alone. We're getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and if they can't break down, they're going to get a huge relief push if semiconductors break out, and that's my fear at the moment. If I had coffee, no, I'm not going to have coffee this morning. I've got a tea next to me. Nice work, man. Congratulations. Yeah, I think that's we caught the shorts back down here and here, but getting follow through here is becoming increasingly impossible. It's kind of just wild, like, and that's mag, to make you understand. That's the mag 7. That's semis. It just will not roll over. I don't even mind if they break out and come up here and I can look for a trap above it, but they're just not moving. We're just stuck. Isn't it mad? Mag's got that much pressure and NQ's going sideways. What you gonna do? Yeah, SPY up to 65. So it's trying to get ES up to 65. SPY VWAP is at 41s basically. Put level is at 40. Mag new lower day again. Bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed, and semis holding on. What's interesting is we're not printing up on semis. I think there's a really good chance of this environment down here coming when they're done with it. It's just going to need semis to just give up. The hardest thing is the location. It's because we're at the daily Bollinger Band low. It's not a great location to short. They want the downside so bad, but they just can't do it. I am somewhat surprised someone's willing to bid on this as much as they have this morning, if I'm honest. Once it lets go, I think it's going to be pretty nasty because this shelf here is pretty big here at 700. I think that was the newsletter level, right? Pretty sure. Semis look like they're going to break out here, folks. Through PDC, they're going for higher day. They look like they're going to break out here, and MAG has been trading lower and lower and lower. And if MAG finds a bounce or a bid when semis break out, you need to be very careful. It's had more than enough chances to break down today, and it hasn't. We're getting compression here. Think about this. Shorts have tried and tried and tried and tried. If they don't get their way soon, the relief can be very violent. Here goes semis through the PDC. They're going for high of day. If they get the high of day, they're going to go for previous day high. And if they get that, they're going to go for 170 cool wall. And they've built out an awful lot of liquidity up here. Don't know what to tell you. Like, that's the environment we're in. That's why we're very, very cautious. Here we go. Semis pushing towards higher day. Breaking out. MAG trying to find a bid here. If MAG finds a bid here when semis break out, this can get squeezy. I'm just warning you. I'm just warning you. They're tapping high day right now. If they break, they're going to go for previous day high on semis. MAG's starting to find a bit of a bottom here at the moment. This thing looks like it's going to start moving upside back up to here again. Compression has started, unless you get a failed break here. No, I'm not considering long today. I'm going to avoid all longs today. I don't care if there's relief. I've said it all morning long. I'm not changing. Doesn't mean I short anymore. But I'm not looking for the squeeze relief long. It's not what I'm trading today. It's not the setup I'm looking for. I'm looking for continuation, high time frame, macro environment shorts. That's it. I'm not looking for longs. Doesn't mean you have to do the same. You can trade what's in front of you. Like I said, there's a long here this morning. I'm going to wait for the short. All right, new high day just put in there on semiconductors. MAG finding a 5-minute inside bar, trying to push up here at the moment. I'm going to stay short side when we break lower or when we test the red box above, or maybe value, but it's kind of tricky. Here come the sellers. They're trying again. There's a pivot here for the buyers to try and hold at New York Open. MAG at lower day again. Semis now fail breakout back under PDC. All right, I'm watching this short side again here. MAG new low of day. All right, I'm very, very interested now. When they get short, if pops fail, if that was all they needed, I'm interested. This might be last attempt here. What's the time? No, time left. I want to watch 7s to 720s here. Semis at that cool wall. Watching this lift. Comes the bid. Can you come up a bit more? A little bit more? A little bit more? Okay, I'm short. I need breakdown now. Now or never. Small size. And I will add if we break under the blue box and then reject it. All right, what I'd like to see is this. Don't want this move here. I'll cut this if we hold over this blue line. That's the New York Open. Oh, semis, you got to be kidding me. Out. Okay, officially not giving any more money back here. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. This market now needs to come under here or come up here. Otherwise, I'm not trading it. I am getting sick to death of looking over my shoulder and seeing this recover every single bid. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not going to go green to red. We have to wait. We have to wait for moves under 90s. Motherfucker. Talk about making our life hard. Monk level patience. Yeah, it does. You know what's going to happen? It's going to be the Alex trade. This thing's going to absolutely melt down now once I've been like, I'm not holding any longer. Right, back into this. So if we move under here and reject it, we're going to get short. It's the only trade we're going to take now down here. 750 did just reject again. That is a good sign. We need to move away from this level. Mag is absolutely getting its face melted, and we cannot move lower. It's actually wild. What the fuck? This is flat. How are you holding the market up? Go away. Go away. Like, to make this make sense to you, I don't know if any of you have had a look over your shoulder at the mag, right? The equally weighted mag is approaching 5% down on the day. Right? Tesla, 13.5% down. Let that sink in. Nvidia, 1.74% down. Microsoft, 1.88% down. Meta, 3.5% down. Google, 7.32% down. Amazon, 4.5% down. Apple, 1.37% down. NQ, 1.63% down. And we haven't moved since the New York Open. This is where we opened. It's where we are now. It's kind of wild, guys. It is a kind of wild. And they saved it again. And semis are trying again. And Mag is definitely putting a big long wick at that tail and caught a bid there. Semis now failing. Back to 160 again. 160 and under is where the pain starts at the moment. Every time we've come there, we found a bid. It's coming back to it again now. Mag's starting to go upside. It's hilarious. So what's going to happen now if they print the mag up and sell the semis back down? Does the market still stay flat? $160 just got bid again. That looks like a pretty good pin bottom on the mag so far on a 5-minute if they can close this up. They've got 30 seconds left. comes the mag. This is hilarious. This is actually hilarious. The waiting on the cues now. If this continues in the queues, I'm going to go back to what I said a few weeks ago. We're going to have to trade individual names because it will become untradeable. If a rotation is just constant between mag and semis and queues go flat, we're going to have to trade individual names because we have diminishing edge here now. All right, this is absolutely diminishing edge. If we can't see follow through when the mag are bleeding, because they're going to bid semis, and we know that they're going to do a rotation, right, from one to the other, from one to the other, then we're going to do this a lot. And I don't really want to trade that. So we might have to consider individual names. No, Carlos, it isn't then scalp. That, like, no, mate, that's not how it works. Oh, we're in a rotation, then we scalp. No. No, it's diminishing edge. It's just diminishing edge. This is looking really bad. Look at the wicks on this. All right, and then you move to mag. That's a pin low, like I said, and the 5 minute closed up. They can get relief up here now. Now, what I'm interested in, if that does that, does this do this? Or do they both lift together and we get a big upside squeeze in the market? I don't know. Genuinely don't know. I don't know what their intentions are right now. Semi's under 160 again. Well, undoubtedly, we've got seller exhaustion down here. We're not seeing acceptance under 700 yet. It should come. It should have come. It isn't coming. And semi's now rolling over. All right, so what happens now? What do they do now? Does mag sell with it or does mag print? I'm just watching over here to see. All right, we're under the sevens. Here they go. Mag's rolling over with it. So we've got alignment. First time we've had alignment today. All right, now the question is, can we get involved? Now the target here is low of day and all the way down here. This is the same trade we've looked at all day. So we're going to have to look for pullbacks in to be sold into. Can we get involved? I'm starting short. And I want to really be open to playing versus 7 to 720. And once we get lower daybreak, we should see liquidation. Here it comes. How many times do we have to have a go at this trade? Come on, take that low. Don't you dare. And then just snap, please. All right. Really good alignment. Look at the difference. Oh, they suddenly did everything together. It's like I'm going to have to build an indicator that tells me when we do that together now. Okay, TP1 now hit. Fuck, man. We're targeting down here now, folks. We're trying to get to 400s for the day. That's the goal. That is the goal for the day. If we reject IB here, which we just did, it's a good sign. Let me just check the expected move real quick. What are we looking like? 401's the expected move. 437 to 401's. So that's what we're looking for extensions. Yeah, I'm green. I'm not as big green as I was, but I'm going to close the day probably a good few thousand up. Not as green as I was. Give a little back, trying here numerous times. And we'll see if they can poke up here and reject 700 to 710s, we can sit in this. Semis are trying to hold the RBS zone. That's what we've got to be careful of. Big buyers at the lows. I doubt they get their way. Can we get break lower here? Here we go. There is a seller at the low, but other than that, the last two candles are full of buyers, aggressive buyers. So I'm looking for this to move lower still. They keep getting stuck. The sellers are a little bit stuck at 50s and under. The buyers are stuck at 64 and 71. Mag held its lower day print so far. Just be aware of that. I'm still looking. I'm trying to get to 400s today. That's where I think we can go to. Make this hard back inside of IB. Need this to stay heavy now, right? This is the grey box, basically. Can we move that? This must reject. We must stay heavy versus that, right? Any reclaim of that, I'm out. I don't think low days in, but the last... We've got to be careful here. Delta divergence is starting to flip delta in this 5-minute bar here. We've got time left. Semi's going to test 160 again. I cannot believe this. Oh my God. If you reclaim this, I'm going to get fucking caught. Oh my God. There goes my green day. Can you fucking believe it? 160 reclaim. Oh my God. No continuation. Absolutely nothing. Oh, what a see you next Tuesday. There we go. What are you going to do? Have to respect it. Reclaim the grey. There it goes. This is why I respect the stops. Oh my fucking Lord. Guess who caught a bid together? I mean, honestly, the short lasted, what, 30 seconds? It lasted, in reality, it lasted 2 minutes. The alignment lasted 2 minutes and then they went back the other way. It's just bonkers. Negative gamma. What are you going to say? This is what happens. This is what happens. Oh my God. It was a head fake. Not really, mate. It's just it's just a rotation, right? And we have to respect the rotation. There isn't, even down here, there's not much absorption. It's very, very aggressive buying down here. It's like, it probably will break lower. But because we're negative gamma, they can keep squeezing up. Because they can rotate, they can keep squeezing up. The big problem is, because MAG has melted, right, all day, the big problem is because MAG is melted all day, when it's put in its bottom and we're holding out, it's got so much room to come upside just for relief to be sold into, all right? Because the semis have held this market up, it's becoming untradeable. The Qs are becoming more and more untradeable at the moment. This isn't the first time I've said this. I've said this many, many, many times. And look at this, relief on the MAG from the lows. So we had all day to sell with the MAG. We didn't. The moment they get relief, we're getting relief. This is my concern at the moment. Timing it's hard. Oh, I can't believe I've gone green to red. I can't remember the last day I went green to red. No, it's got nothing to do with FOMC, guys. Like, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Like, I went over it pre-market. It's got nothing to do with like maybe it changes after. No. This is all about CapEx spend. That's all this is. And the move happened overnight. Unfortunately, the best selling opportunity, as ever, they fucking did it overnight, didn't they? They're assholes. All right. And now look at this. Look at how nice this is. And look what we've been served. Are you for real? All right. We've got to wait for this now. That's what we get served. Man. Deary, deary, deary. Oh my God. It's just amazing. It's amazing that they've been able to do this. What's this range? 60 points. 60 fucking points they've managed to keep this in. $3 down. I wish I was $3 down. Started sizing into that last push and then it ripped, so I had to take it off. Why don't I trade Asia session? It's called sleeping. Look at this. Fuck. I mean, like I said, the auction at low isn't good. I'm hella frustrated now because it's going to drop lower now. All it wanted to do was chew me out. Should be short here, but I'm exhausted now. I'm exhausted from the bullshit. The incessant chop has done me today, I think. This should be breaking lower. Like I said, the auction at the low is not very good. That literally just ran me out to just come and do the move. That is as much of a piss take as you can get. That ran me out. Look at this. This is how you know your level's good. It ran me out to now come and do the move. This auction down here is poor. Like I said, I think we're coming to 400s. It's frustrated me too much today, folks. If I can calm my head down, I will consider trying to have another go at it. But at the moment, I haven't got a clear head because that's pissed me off. Yeah, it washed. It did. It washed and rinsed me. It's exactly what it did. That's exactly what it did. It didn't respect the shelf it broke away from. It had to do one more trap. It's exactly what happened. What are you going to do? I think you're going to get expansion model here. You're going to get the move down. Like everything, they're just being a pain in the butt. Here you go. Like I said, yeah, the auction wasn't very good. At least I'm controlling myself. I will find a way of getting back in. Just let my heart rate come down. Here we go. This whole thing is getting nuked now. New lower day on MAG. Semi starting to stay heavy. Last big seller came in at 50s. If you sell 50s or IB, you can consider the expansion model. Otherwise, you've got to be selling up at 88s and 700s. This thing's getting ready to tank. It's going to tank here. They are piling in. I need pops if I'm going to have one more go at this. Right, here's IB. They're protecting IB at the moment. Let's see. Put a little piece on there. I'm going to try and keep my cool and risk up to 700. I'm small size. I need to manage my risk carefully here. Need a new lower day here, please. Here it comes. Get out my way, mate. Go away. Go away. Who's this guy? Get out the way. Let it come 25 and drop. Fuck me. You're such an arse. Who is this guy? Get out the way. He's just suddenly started bidding non-stop. Literally the moment I'm like, oh, short IB, he's been like, all right, I'll bid 25, I'll bid 37, I'll bid 45, I'll bid 50. Go away, you prick. Let me have my trade. Right, here it comes. We need new lower day and flush here. What an arsehole. Here it comes. Oh my God. Is anyone watching this tape at 25s to 40s? This is something else, mate. Well, I'm basically back to flat on the day. I covered some towards that low to be proactive. Yeah, but 500 on what? And the put wall, we're below the big put wall. We're below everything. The next one's much lower. Seller exhaustion down there. Going to lift this back to 700s again now. ES back to New York Open. Failed to break a lower day there. Semi's trying to bid its RBS again. Big buyer here getting caught. Added into that, onto that buyer that just got caught at 61s. Need a flush now because I've added into it. Seriously, no. No, 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 no. What are these games? Reduced size. Need this buyer stuck. He's at 61s. I reduced my size on that last pot because I added. Oh, now I wish never reduced my size. Oh, God. Talk about tricky for a day. Right, can we make a new low and just start tanking, please, now? Can you just please stop with your bullshit? Here it comes. Please. Mag's getting absolutely destroyed, new lows. Please. I've got no size on now. He fucking conned me out of it. All right, we're back to green on the day no matter what. Question is, can we get a few thousand up now or not? Can we come down to the 400s? Are you just going to keep saving this guy down here at 25s non-stop? New low on mags. Semis dangerously low here to getting into RBS. VIX needs to hold 19 and start printing upside. That would really help us. My stop's at IB right now. No matter what, I'm going to be scratch or greenish on the day, no matter what. Like flat, basically, after getting wicked out so many times. Mag is absolutely getting wrecked right now. Here we go, new lows. Right, can we just see follow through now, please? I'm going to move my stop down a little bit and protect the seller at 40 now. Let's see if we can just see follow through. Can we come down here? Can we just stop? Can you just stop your nonsense? Technically, you want to be protecting well, 97s and 700s, and this node here at 70s. I'm not willing to do that because it's done this to me too many times. What a hard day. What should have been an A+ day? Maybe, Alex, maybe, just maybe. You should have just held your short there and walked away. All right, let's see. New lows. You want to protect this shelf here, really. 70 to 80 needs to be protected, folks. All right, semis breaking down, hopefully here. Yes, they're starting to. Come on. Come on. Just one big crack will really help us because it would just wash everyone out. VIX is looking good for upside. MAG's looking great. Everything is looking great. It's just semiconductors holding on. If they can just piss off, we're going to get a really beautiful move here. If they don't piss off, then Alex is going to bang his head continually on a brick wall. So 600, and then we're looking for fours. Here we go. Come on. Just give it. Here's the sixes. We're looking for a 6 snap here. Big seller here. If you want to cover some here, you can. I'm trying to hold on for a big wash. Finally, we're getting going here. Finally. All right, we're looking for 550s on the tape next. We'd like 600s to stay heavy now because that's where the last seller sold. VIX about to break out a pre-market high, which would be fantastic. That would give us the push towards 20. Remember, over 20 is a mega risk-off market. Semis into an RBS here, but they are starting to bleed. Remember, when negative gamma, the whips back can be very, very fast and big. Just be aware of that. The whips back in negative gamma can be fast and big, like we've seen today. It can make trading very, very hard. The last buyers were stuck at 650, so just be aware of that. They might want to come all the way back there and gut check it. VIX breaking out. Semi's finding a little bit of a bid in the RBS. We need to be careful here. We want new lows here, and we want them soon. There's a big seller here on the 600. We want to start breaking lower. Reduce my size a bit here, just in case they hold Mr. 600. Come on. We've got 200 points left in this. We can get down here. We can do it. You can do it if you stop playing games. Here we go. Every tap down, there's a buyer being like, no, I'll have it. I don't understand why. Who is mad enough to be doing this right now? We can go previous week low. Yes, potentially 400s, yes. And the measured move or the expected move is down into 400s. Let me just check again on the options. 401 and 438. All right, so those are the options where their expected moves are. Standard expected move is 382. So, you know, basically, we can really, really melt here. We can really melt here, but like the whipsaws to get down there can be drastic, like we've talked about. This thing's still melting. Come on. Semis are really breaking down now. We should be accelerating lower here. Everything is breaking down now. We should be accelerating lower here. Come on, come on, come on. Can't believe they took my stop here. These absolute animals. You horrible people. We're going to try and let this work. Right, pre-market high break here on the VIX. So VIX is going to look for 20, which is fantastic. Everything's in alignment. This is what we were looking for today, and we just had to stick with it. And we had to eat shit a few times if you traded my entries, unfortunately, which sucks. Right, the last big seller is at 6s. If they break 6s, we're going to go 650s. Be aware of that. Here's the 6s. ES testing IB here. That 6 retest was good. We stayed heavy there. It's a good sign. Remember, if we break 6s, we are likely to travel up towards 650. So I would say if we break 6s, we're probably going to test 635 and then 650 is possible. Now the next level for ES is its put wall, which is 35s, mate. That's what it's looking to try and get to, whether it can get there or not. We're at the daily Bollinger Band here, by the way, folks. This is it right now, where we are. So just be aware of that. Trading's easy, they said. Man. This one got me, though. This one's what took me from good green to red. Short here, adding on that, and then ripped through, stopped out, and then he's come back down and done it. At least we manage risk, right? You're welcome, guys. Yeah, no worries. If you're up, you've managed risk well. All right, so here's through the 6s now. They can test here 30s and then 50s and then 70 to 80s. Just be aware of this now. We are due some relief since the sell. And the last big buyers who are stuck, I would say, are 50s, 60s, and 70s. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it come up there and make a decision. This first node is 20 to 30. I'm going to move this in a bit. This and this and this. Still holding imbalanced low side here. That seller at 600 is currently stuck. So until we come under him, the buyers are trying to use his pain at the moment to lift it for a counter trend squeeze. I will consider adding if we move up a little bit more and trap buyers. I'm not adding down here. All right, back under 6s. ESIB L rejection, mag new low of day, VIX continuing to look to break out. It's a bit too low for me to add at the moment. I would have rather we traded into this if I'm going to look for an add, or up here. It's a little bit too low for me to add to feel comfortable. If you know it goes 50s or 60s, why not take it? You never know anything. You know it's able to get up there. What do you mean, why not take it? It's not even there yet. How can I take it short there if it's not there yet? Last 15 minutes will look like an easy short. Well, we took it short the last 15 minutes, right? Look at this. Where did we get short? Here. That is the last 15 minutes, mate. right? That's literally where we've been short. Okay. Oh, they're going to let more come here. Still would like fours. That's where I'd like to get into. Might take all day. I'd like to get there before lunch. If we can just turn this on. New hourly candle coming in. Might get a lift up here. Don't think the hourly lows are in. There's pretty small wicks down there. All right, big seller here at these lows again. He's just got absorbed again. Come on. Don't care what you do. Either drop it or pop it up for me to add on. Just do one of them. All right, new lows. Expansion a little bit here. Who came into that? Yeah, they're trying to just get lower and lower and lower here. Sellers are in control still down here now, breaking lower. So no opportunity to put more size on yet. There's an old imbalance or single print down at 530. I wonder if they can come down into that. So first put wall here. Red line on your screen. New higher day VIX, new lower day MAG. Next target 400. I mean, you can respect all of these, right? These are all put walls, so we expect options traders to trade out here, but this is where I'd like to get into, if possible. I don't think it does it in one go. It might need all day to do that, but that's what I'd be watching. I'd want it to stay heavy here. Certainly cannot get back above that. We're short side under that, and we're looking for this. It's been a short only day. Made that clear as day. Not once have I tried a long today. I'm not interested in longs. Again, another new low day mag. I'd actually like this to pop up. I'd like to get some more size on it. More delta divergence here. They want to trade lower again here. So every pop's being sold into with a passive seller now. Every single pop. There is a passive seller trying to walk down. Like mag is getting absolutely wrecked. Wrecked. Over 5% down now. Oh, almost 5.5% equal weighted. Tesla 13.75% down. Nvidia 2.36% down. Microsoft 3.10% down. Meta 4.22% down. Google 7.33% down. Amazon 5.08% down. Apple just under 1.5% down. It's getting wrecked. All right, here comes the relief. So hopefully they can drive this up and we can get some more size on. Every pop sold into again though. Breaking lower. Remember, there's some singles down at 29s and 30s, 530, sorry. Let's see if we can get down into this. This is where I want to go. These candles make it hard, man. VIX approaching mid, so it's trying to get up to 20 still, which is great. Another new lower day on mag. Thing keeps melting. I would really like a relief rally up here. I'd really like to get some more size on. The only time I sized today, the only time I sized today, right, I just started here and I sized in on this. And then got ran. It's the only time I sized up was when the condition came and they ran me out and then did it. Oh, you just got to laugh. You just got to laugh. What are the targets for ES? Well, you're into P2 here, 35s. It's a big target where you are right now. For the spiders, 736. Let me zoom out on ES. Give me a second, mate. Yeah, everywhere from where you are now, next liquidity will be down between 420 to, what's this old gap? 402s. Big seller at these lows. Be careful. I don't know. I can't keep looking over at the other stocks, guys. I'm in a trade. I'm sorry. Like you have to learn to look at the charts a little bit yourself. I'm really sorry. That's if I sound like a dick, but if you're asking me like, where's Tesla going? Where's this? Learn to read. I can't do it for you. I do as much as I can. All right, we're almost into that single print at 5:30. All right, so you're up like 150 points or 100 and something points, even if you just took the IB break. Let's think about the expansion here on IB. You're probably there. Yeah, you're into the 1.5, so you want to reduce size here. Look at the measured move. This is where I want to go, that blue box. And now I feel very confident we're going there. We just need some form of pop so Alex can get some more size on. It would be very welcome. Right, that is the single print filled at 5:30. So they're bouncing right off it. Now, the last big seller was at 550. I wouldn't mind seeing like a 5-minute bar print up to 80 or something. Some form of relief. Any form of relief. More big sellers at these lows. They're starting to get absorbed down here. There's another 100 lot just coming trying to sell the lows. Just be aware of that. They are selling the lows. There's a 344 lot at 500. But there's a 150 lot just tried to sell 540s. So unless we break under him, he's going to be out of the money as well. So 540 and 550 big sellers just came in. Starting to see a little bit of a potential bottom on mag. Then it might need a pullback. So I think this whole market needs some relief upside, and then we can make a decision if we can get some more size on. More big sellers at these lows. There's a lot of selling at these lows, folks. If they don't break lower, you're going to see a squeeze. There's a huge amount of selling going on at these lows, market selling. Might well get a relief rally up here soon. It's the first time I've seen this at lows. Might well be it, folks. It might be done. Testing these sellers. They're under these sellers now. Not enough relief for me to add again. It's unfortunate. Still got no big size, unfortunately. Right, so you had about 300 lots just sold there, market side, 550 to 540. You want to make note of that. You want to make note of that. Above that, relief. We're still targeting 400s ideally. And there's a 300 lot at 500. which will give us, what, 160-point winner. It's taking quite a long time to dribble down here, to be honest. I'm surprised they haven't accelerated this. This is fairly controlled. This is institutional controlled selling when you see it like this. This is not panic yet. This is fairly controlled. It's just a very, very controlled channel at the moment. All right, we're approaching the cool wall on the VIX. All right, 20. Over 20 is a very risk-off market. Just be aware of that, but we are approaching it right now. More selling at these lows. Not even a pop. No pop. There's nothing. We just got to hold on to this, folks. All right, 338 lot at 500 about to be filled. Under that, remember, we're looking for fours. That's what we're looking for, the blue box below. But if you want to cover some into this big lot, I don't blame you. So you're up about 150 points now, just from IB. It's a big winner. I'd say from here to 400, there's potential for it to find a bid. More big selling, huge selling come through to fill that guy at 500. So we're almost at the targets. So down here, we're starting to accelerate now. It's funny, we're starting to accelerate while MAG's turning around because the semiconductors are selling. Let that sink in. MAG's turning around, semiconductors are starting to drive. They look like they want the 150 test, so they're starting to drive lower, and that's what's caused the sell. All right, back over the 500. If they hold the 500 print, you might want to consider getting out. Coming up to 20 level on the VIX, so we might get a nasty bounce here soon. Just be careful. I'm just like trying to make you like manage your position size correctly. We're into P2 and we're into cool wall 1 on the VIX, and it can reject 20, and if it rejects 20 with the MAG starting to find a bid, we might find this bid up here for a momentary relief. They're starting to hold fives here. $833 lot now at 475. Can we get to our blue box? Here's put wall. So they're bidding just under put wall. Can we get to our blue box? Can we get down here? Tell you what, if we reclaim 500, I'm out here. We're there or thereabouts, and I don't mind starting a new position. So I've put my stop in at 500, so we just took it. I'm out. Done. I will re-add if we get relief higher. But this has been a big, big walk down. we have come into, I'll show you why I'm watching this. We've come into 20 on the VIX. All right, there's a cool wall up here. And this is a big over under always. 20 is always a level you want marked out. All right, so I'm expecting, it's very possible the VIX pulls back off this. And then we have another go later. So I'm expecting the market, here you go, so you go. So I'm expecting the market to start squeezing back up a little bit. This is why I've got out of that position. And maybe a gut check further up. Yeah, so catching big off the 52s as well. It needs to come and test now, sort of, sold shelf. 56s, somewhere around there. 56s all the way up to 58 is possible for a back test where it broke down from. Let's see how far we can lift. How long have we got left? We've got 45 minutes. Might be able to get one more trade in here. Yeah, trading's easy, they said. Trading's easy, they said. Who said that? Not me. There's an imbalance at 52s. I'm trying to think where this can lift to. Last big selling was 40s to 50s. So even if we lift there, I'll see how we build liquidity out there. If we lift over there, then there's a lot more room upside. There's a move up to those last lot of sellers. I would like to see more relief than just this. Maybe even up here would be good, 77s or something. Sort of shelf we tested. What's this node? 50 to 70. Didn't quite get up there. See if we can come up a bit higher. 50 to 70 would be good. Mm-mm. 100 lot over 50 now. I'd love them to squeeze up there. Like the faster we move up there, the better. And just a big squeeze up. Hopefully there's not a V-shaped recovery today. Hopefully it's just a squeeze up and then they start reselling again after like a little breather. Alex, I'm down 10k. How do I recover? You don't. You walk away. You ain't recovering that today. And you don't want to try and recover it today. That means you oversized or you didn't take stops, which means you're not trading well, which means you shouldn't be on the screens. Okay, is the 50 move. Let's see if they can get aggressive. How far up they go now? Do they go 70s? Do they come into the node at 620s? Semi's coming for that 156 we just talked about. So I'm waiting to see if they push this and sort of peak out and fail. Still a bid here, walking up. Interested there. There's a big buy just came in there. What was the move to 70s? What did we say? 50s to 70s. That buyer just came in at 54s. And another buyer here, aggressive buyer. They might need a second leg. Where's this guy? That might have been it, folks. That might have been it. This pivot here, 35s. That might be it. And we just said, what did we say? 50s to 70s. What did that hit? 69. It's a pretty good read. Let's see them. They might still need a second leg. So the little shelf here is at 25s if they want to, buyers want to bid it for a second leg higher. Otherwise, we slice and we go lower. There's the slice. Missed it again, eh? I said that might be it. We can see the big buyers getting caught there. There's another 100, 200 lot caught up at above 50s. Happens so quick. It's in and then we're away from it, and it never gives a wiggle back. I guess on the tick chart, it did give a little wiggle. I'll watch this into 50s now. All right, put a little piece on. Need to see a breakdown under 500s and pronto. And then we're looking for fours. Remember, we're looking for the blue box. Here we go. Beautiful. Thank you. Oh! 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 Almost fooled me. Come on! This was a move I've been wanting for, like that kind of aggression. How have you not filled me there? It's so close. So close. We don't want 500 reclaim here, folks. We do not want 500 reclaim here. You wouldn't have seen that without order flow. I'm going to show you again in a minute. That's pretty good, right? It was pretty good, right? We talked about the lift to 50s to 70s. So we talked about the VIX turning around here. Let's make this make sense for you for a short time relief. Okay, look what the VIX has done since. All right, what did we say? Short time relief to be rebid, flow zone rebid 20s. Okay, so that was your first clue that maybe we want to get out of that first move, and then we can look for the re-add. Why were we looking for 50s to 70s? Let's make it really simple. All right, here is where we broke down from. Here is where we retested. Here is the other level where we failed. All right, so we expect a relief into here. We had a shelf here, and above that, I expect buyers to chase and then get hit. What's the main trend? Downside. Where are we leaving? Vacating volume. Right? On every time frame, we're in a sell right now. Okay, in every single time frame. That's why I didn't want to be a buyer today. Make this make sense to you, just so it drills it into your head, because someone did come in this morning and said, are you buying? No. Okay, so what do we have? We can just put a balance range on here, right? Right, we've vacated the balance range. Where's the big node? Here, here. We've left it, all right? We retested it. What do we expect? Monday, Tuesday, high of week, then a new low, right? Weekly model if you're in the flow zone and you've done the course. Monday, Tuesday, high of week, then low of week. All right, we're looking to vacate that. We're going to watch these thin areas now where we can expand lower. The measured move lower, I will keep repeating, is for a back test of this. It is actually a measured move, all right? If we think about the fibs, it takes us right into it, the 1.5 to the 161, right into it, okay? So I'm expecting this to develop probably into August to October, and then I think the end of Q4 we might bid back out. All right, so that's what we were looking for. Lower time frame, we wanted to be short side because of that. I'm going to go through everything today so you can understand. All right, if we go to the hourlies today, you would have heard me say this morning, I don't want to short the lows. We're looking for a opening drive to fail, right? The opening drive to fail, which is what we got. We got the opening drive to fail. Where did it fail? Low volume node, never reclaimed previous current week value, never reclaimed previous day's value. So remember, we've migrated value lower, lower, lower. We're looking for lower prices. What's the low hanging fruit? That's why I'm trying to get to 400s. Now, under that, I will tell you now, we can do an expansion of this, because this is effectively what we talked about at the beginning of the week, a two-leg pullback with a topping pattern to fail. All right, and the expansion model will take us down to 28,000 and 27,444. You can use the levels that I gave you in the newsletter for downside pressure if we start breaking here. But this is fantastic now. This is the kind of tape that I wanted today, which has started to happen again. It required some patience today. Unfortunately, market ate some of my profits early on. So if you're just joining now, we were short here and here. We got hundreds of points here. And then I tried a few times to get this breakdown with starters. I didn't mind taking those losses, no problem. 5-10 point losses on starters. The one that hurt me was where I added in here looking for that break. And it took me and then came and then did it. All right. So my thesis was right. There's nothing wrong with my thesis. My execution was also pretty good. All right, I stopped out. It would have almost been better if I didn't stop out, but I stopped out. I ate the loss. I'm not annoyed with my execution. Just this node here made it a little bit tricky today. But now we vacated that and we're coming into our targets here, folks. Now, expected move, again, I'm going to remind you. Expected move currently for the day. All right, pre-market expected move was 438. All right, current expected move for the day is 401s. Delta developing is 333s. All right, and we're in negative gamma, so this can get nasty. Hopefully you guys were able to hang around with me enough, and I'm going to show you what we talked about in Discord this morning. All right, we were looking for a pop, potentially all the way up to 900 to fail, and then under the 700, this break here, we're looking for fours. Let's think what we got this morning. We were looking for the pop, potentially up towards 900, the pop to fail. There's the fail, and then the break under 700 to fours. There you go. Right, you're into low-hanging fruit. This is it. We're not, beyond this, we're not really doing anything for the day. This is what we expect. After this, you know, if you want to sit and hold runners for a complete meltdown, by all means do it. But it's most of it done, right? I will apologize to you if you got stopped out with me today. There's not a lot I can do about that, folks. Like this is trading, right? We have to be risk on when the market's setting up. It's shit sometimes, folks. What can I say? It's annoying, but thank God we got a beautiful move here. So the big winners today were this. Or a variation of that. And this. We took fives. And then back in here. All right, and there you go. You're coming into targets now. All right, so this blue box is a cover point. There you go. Look, Malik, that is exactly it. One big winner covered all my losses and 1K up. Now, that's how I trade. That's just how I trade, folks. Not everyone trades like me. You'll see lots of people trade negative RR for 20 points or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that if that suits them. What is going on here? That's the wrong way around. Should be a short position. I wasn't thinking long. That's just how I trade, right? So I talk about it a lot. You probably don't see that many traders on YouTube who will look for 100 points, who will look for, you know, from 700 to 400, you know, who will look for the big moves. That's how I trade. I'm happy to eat small ones, knowing that I'll get this. Like I said, a lot of time my RR is skewed. It would say 68 to 73% win rate. But a lot of that time, for example, I might be short here and I'll take a break even +1 or something. And that counts as a win. It's not a win, it's a scratch. I'm very honest about that. I don't lie to you about that. I think my RR is skewed. Am I selling the blue line or 401? Selling here? No, mate. This is a cover point. You've got to be covering here, right? You want to be out 80+% into here, right? You're out here. You're holding runners then beyond that. We don't expect the market. What did I say the expected move was today? 401 and potentially 382, 333. So 401. I'm going to mark them in for you. Here, oh, you're basically there. We 401 to what did I say? 382. It won't draw it for me. Here we go. 401 to 382. Market doesn't expect it to go beyond this. It can. The developing market saying we can go to 333, but the market doesn't expect it to go beyond this. I don't expect it to go beyond this blue box. That's where I think it will catch a bid, which is why you can see I'm covered. Everything in perfect alignment now. I mean, it's amazing the difference it makes, eh? Like, we did have to deal with some junk this morning if we come to the open. So if you're just joining me here for the first time, your MAG 7 is your white line. All right, that is a beautiful trend down. Your green is your software. I wasn't really paying too much attention to that today. It's not going to have an impact on today. What I was looking at was this. All right, and once we finally had another attempt at the high and we broke, I mean, I think this is where I got caught. This is where I looked for the breakdown. Let's have a look. 10:30. What time did I get caught on that whip? Yeah, right there. It was all because of this nasty something or other. All right, it's all because semiconductors did that move there, and then they went. All right, so I was playing the backside. I timed everything right. I managed my risk correctly. This thing caught me a little bit, and now we're in alignment. Look, pressure. All right, backside of the V. All right, we're in one of these, and yeah, VIX breaking out of 20. That is a risk-off market. All right. I'm just going to use the bathroom here and mentally, all right, and then I'll come back. All right. Okay, be honest with me. How many of you are green today? How many of you caught one of those decent winners? You got 90 odd points out of that. 100 if you caught the low. I didn't. I got 90 odd points out of it. We got about 180 odd points out of this one, and 140. So probably got 130 points out of that or something. How many of you agree? And hopefully lots of you agree. Nice. Well done, team. That's all that really matters. That's awesome. Lots of you agreeing. For the ones that aren't, I'm sorry. If you got caught in that one that caught me, I'm sorry. This is why managing risk is absolutely key to trading, all right? Because we never know what's going to happen. We can have good ideas, all right? We can create good thesis, we can trade correctly, but if you don't size properly, or you know, if I didn't stop out there because I'd sized in and I'd let that run on me, I mean, that would have really hurt me. That would have taken probably 5 figures out of me instead of nicking 4 out of me. And then I've got to get it all back and get green and some. So managing risk is absolutely fundamental. So key. If you red on the day and it's a managed risk, that's good trading. Just remember that. Red on the day, this is another thing that new traders often forget. If you're red on the day, but you have executed correctly and you've managed your risk and you've eaten your stops, that is good trading. You need to reward that the same way you would reward a winner which works for you, which is traded well. If, for example, all right, I don't know what to say here. What would be a bad example? Like, if you shorted here and got rewarded there, that's like not very good trading. You're reinforcing bad habits, right? So you want to enforce good habits, which are just taking good trades regardless of the outcome, right? That's why I'm not annoyed with this trade. I take the breakdown, I add back in against the shelf, I stop out. I'm not annoyed with myself there. I would be annoyed with myself there if I took the breakdown and I tried to get short down here. That's terrible trading, right? Look at the reaction off the blue zone, right? It's been there for you all day. Again, we drew this out pre-market. This is where we were heading to. This is what we just hit, right? We just hit it. Low-hanging fruit's gone. We're done. How bad was a counter trend long from 500? This, I mean, it wasn't terrible because you had liquidity trapped as long as you understood it was counter trend, right? So we had sellers caught in here. I called it out for you. Where is it? 500. I think it was 5. Was it 550? Hang on, I'm going to check the tape. Yeah, we did. Look. All right. So it wasn't bad. Look, we had a 420 lot. See this huge delta caught here. So the moment you held him, as long as you're risking against him and you understood, you listened to me and you're like 550 to 570s where I think this ends. Okay, there's the drive up. We fail. Where do the buyers come in? 550 to 570. All right, aggressive buyers, passive sellers against them. Do we move higher once they bid? No. Okay, that's our short trigger. So as long as you understood that and you got out, you were long and you reduced your size, paid yourself into that, that trade's fine. As long as you understand the type of trade it is just a counter trend trade. If you understand that, I don't have a problem with that trade at all. Not at all. It's not what I was looking for. It doesn't mean you should be doing the same, right? A month ago, I was on the verge of totally giving up. I'm having my best weeks yet so far. 2 evals passed and another 3 nearly. GG's. Hey, nice work, Phoenix. Great work. How did I spot this blue zone? It was, I will show you. All right, it's where we are very, very, very thin, right, on this profile. So this week's current developing profile, remember, this was Friday. Was it Friday or Sunday? I can't remember. And we found a wick. Now, if we're thin here on this week, and if we go back to the week before, where are we thin? Okay, we're thin. So I expect a bid to be found here. The reason I wasn't bothered about this is because I felt like if we'd come to this point at 550, we would sweep. And if we were going to sweep, all right, here, then we're going to tag lower. And then basically I'm looking at this, and that's the edge. And also, I'd have to take you to a daily. It is also a level on the daily. All right, so if we go to the daily, all right, where is the low volume node on the daily? Just before the high volume node. Can you see this here? There's a shelf right here. All right, so we're, can't draw it for you. Right here, see the shelf? This is what we just bid off in front of this. Now, if we trade through that, where are we going to come to next? Here, this LVN. All right, so if we break down here today, I would expect to move to 320s to 230s. And if we break down through that, I'm going to expect to move to 2830s to 27,900s. Now, if we think about what I put in the newsletter for you guys, I think a lot of these were in there. Let's have a look at what the newsletter said. If I can find it. Remember to smash that like button down below, thumbs up on the screen. We'll do some giveaways in a bit. All right, last week's newsletter. Let's see what I said for the bears. Okay, technical outlook. The pace of the tape accelerated significantly this week. Remember what I'm talking about last week, as the market moved away from safety of the 3-month range point of control and 20-day SMA. Once price failed outside the daily high volume node, selling pressure increased and pushed the market back into the 2025 value area. That should have said 2026. Friday's move was particularly notable as price swept the June lows, which had originally formed on heavy volume. Buyers then stepped in to defend the low volume node and an unfilled gap dating back to the May 5th to 6th, before the market ultimately found some stability and closed near the daily Bollinger Band low. This is a very different market from the one we've seen the last few weeks. A confirmed break from the 3-month range has now taken place, and the upcoming earnings cycle will be critical to determine what comes next. The key question is whether sellers can defend the underside of the former range and extend pressure back towards the 2025 highs, or whether buyers can reclaim the old range and use some stronger earnings reactions as the foundation of a renewed move higher. Bearish outlook. Bears have to remain patient for opportunities that developed last week, but now that breakdown's been confirmed, their focus will shift towards defending overhead value and keeping buyers trapped beneath the former range, which is exactly what happened this week. Remember, we were looking to defend previous week's value, all right, and 300 to 400, which is the 3-month balanced range. All right, so everything here needs to be defended by sellers. That's what I'm telling you. The key resistance zone for sellers is 29,265 to 29,300. 29,265 to 29,300. All right, under this, I'm telling you, sellers have control. A move above this area will need to develop as a bull trap. Hello. Followed by a strong close back below previous week's value area low for bears to remain in control. Bull trap, close below, reject value, bears remain in control. If sellers regain control, the downside rotations are 28,950, 28,950, 28,850, 28,850, where we popped into today, 28,700, where we broke down from today. A sustained close beneath 28,700 will reopen exposure to 28,585, 585, and fresh lows beneath this previous week lows at 28,408, which is what we're targeting at the moment. And that will open the door for continuations to 28,335, 225, 100, 930, and 27,750. In a true liquidation event, a 161 fib extension near 27,200 aligns with the 2025 high, and a 20-day SMA remains a viable longer range downside target, which is the extension I showed you that we were looking at the daily. All right, so it was all there for you. It was all there for you. Just had to put it all together. It was all there. Joe, you signed up but don't get it. Email me, info@flowzonetrader.com, and check your spam. You should get it. It should be in your spam. Motion pictures, thanks again for your help and guidance. You make a big influence on my trading with that as well as life. And I'm here just short of 2 weeks. Thank you so much for the tip today. That would be my lunch. Appreciate it. And I'm glad to hear that I'm helping you. Would I be looking for another short rejection? For me, at the moment, I'm done, mate. Okay, for me, I'm done. I'm hit my low-hanging fruit. I'm done. Blue box was it, and I'm good with that. All right. At the moment, we're starting to see no acceptance below this at the moment. We're starting to see compression. We might go sideways into lunch. All right, and we might build this out. Now, this afternoon, you can look for a break, and if that is rejected here, anywhere in here or here, then we might see lower prices. Okay, or maybe they just build out and they build lower. Be very careful with this move here for a rally into end of day to hold. Remember, I will remind you, yes, I'd much rather be short side on this, but again, we have to limit where we are. Think about where we are on the daily. How many times do we close outside of the daily Bollinger Band? Not very often. Can today be a black swan event and cause it? It can. It absolutely can. If at the moment the market's telling me, hey, we want to be risk off in these, all right, and that can cause downside pressure, especially given the macro environment. If you don't understand the macro environment, I would suggest follow me on Twitter. Look at my roast. I think it's my most recent post. I did it last night. Just have a quick read on that. It will help you understand why we're selling today. All right, there's a strong reason why we're selling today. Alex, I'm in a sell from 713, 1 mini, stop at 600. Should I go more down with my stop? We're in from 713, okay. Stops at 600, did you say? I've just lost you on the screen. Stop at 600. Should I go more down with my stop? That all depends what you're willing to risk here, my friend. I would rather this doesn't break above. Have you paid yourself some into this? Would be my first question. If not, I'd be defending. I mean, 600 is good level to defend, but I think you'd be somewhat miffed if you give 100 points back. Be careful here on compression. Right, if they can't break lower, right, you're not seeing acceptance under here. The best move for you will be if they stay heavy under here. This will confirm it. But if they keep finding a bid in this LVM, you want to be careful. And you've got to ask yourself, are you willing to give another 100 points back here? It's totally up to you. Do I mind your stop being there? No. But if we've hit targets, do you want to give 100 points back? That's only a question you know. I don't know how you like to trade. I don't know if you've paid yourself. How do I feel about Apex legacy accounts? I'm kind of quite glad that they bought them back. I think everyone moaned about them, and then they changed the accounts, and everyone's like, can we have those back again? So it doesn't bother me. Thanks, Alberto. Yeah, I can't believe the pace at which the followers are going at the moment. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, Intel earnings tonight. You're right. This is a desktop app. Yeah, I run it on a desktop app. Do I have a tutorial for the mags and lines used? Yes, I do. Winner Circle. It's a recent video. It's one of the newer videos. If you just go on to my videos on my channel, you'll see it there. Alex, when you zoomed out to the daily, what was your large VP range set to? That's from Jan 1st. Yeah, so I have 2 on there. So you mean this one? This is from Jan 1st. Yeah, so that's the start of the year. This is from when we got stuck up here in this range. All right. So we're looking at this. We're looking at this. Right. What's the A plus short? Unfortunately, it happened overnight. That here, if you were trading Globex overnight, that right there is about as good at A plus short as you're ever going to get. All right. A Monday, Tuesday high, fail break with earnings, with significant reason to move lower, both technically and fundamentally, with the CapEx and mag issue. That is an A plus short opportunity back down. Absolutely no doubt about it. Wish I wasn't asleep. I caught 300 points overnight with 1 micro. Jordan, that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Solitaire, you took that short. Nice. Sometimes it's hard to see that you were correct with all the market wants to do, but you get wrecked on the delivery. But I have to accept it. Might start holding positions for longer now from key levels. Yeah, that's it, Norul. Like, delivery today was poor because we'd already done a 300-point move down. I mean, I think if I'm going to become a better trader, truly, I need to just hold that. So if I hold that, I don't care about this. Right? If I'm that confident that it's coming there, and I was, but I knew 700 was a level, so it's why I covered into 700 and then looked for another move. I tried to trade it as 2 legs. To improve my trading, I'm going to need to be able to do that, and that's going to keep me out of all this. That's, you know, that's where I'm going to get a lot better if I can start doing that. All right, high-low starting to be confirmed. You're not seeing acceptance under here, under 5, like I talked about. I'd be very careful now. You're starting to see compression in here. They can start to break out here, especially as we come into lunch. If you get a short covering rally into lunch. All right, VIX back under 20. MAG starting to do the same move. Semi's doing the same move. Just be careful if you're still in this. Like I said, it can be unflat. It can give relief. I was about $100 from losing my prop account, but I caught that short overnight and it brought me back to flat. Nice. How many accounts do I trade? I rotate them quite a lot. The prop firms that I use are Take Profit Trader. They're my main ones. I like daily payouts for them. Apex, Lucid, and I need to get these funded next ones, which I've forgotten to do yet again, even though there's a post-it right in front of me telling me, because I'm an idiot. It's kind of hard when your wife's away and you're having to juggle a million things at once. Sometimes I forget. Yeah, Tradeify, also good. You can look at those. And my funded futures and trade day, they're all down below, all the ones which are worth using. Earn to trade, never trade with them, don't want to talk bad about them, but if they're not on my list, I don't advise using them. I have small stop and high stop rate. Well, when I know liquidity is an issue and we're in negative gamma and I'm trying to short against this, right, and I've added into it, I'm going to have a tight stop because I'm not going to risk from 80s. Like, that's 100 points. I'm not risking that when I'm adding in. Yeah, so that's just how it is. ATR's up, negative gamma. The whipsaw can be fast. I'm going to be really careful with how I trade. Dan's, all right, I was down red huge with all those stops. Out chop BS. After we left the range, I took a single micro short, rode it down for break even, and now I'm done. Hey, that's fine, man. That's good. That's good risk management, and that's also good that you're willing to walk away. were said early 540 level. What do you? I don't understand what you're asking there. I'm not sure what you're asking. Big money's in the sitting. It is, Penny. Absolutely right. Do you still think a short? Well, we've hit low-hanging fruits. So, I mean, it might be that they develop a short later in the day. But what I'd say right now is you're going to have to watch this LVN, value area low for the day. Right now, if sellers can't defend that, right, what we have seen is there is no acceptance of further downside under, let's just call it under 500. It's 480, right? And we've had the tap into the low-hanging fruit. And we now have our first higher low, right? Until then, right, we've gone buy side of the curve. Now we expect some form of relief. Here, 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 here is where I'd be looking for. Now this is probably a short squeeze. One of these is probably likely to happen. Now if they go really turbo, where are they going to come? All the way back here. They get back inside that. That's actually quite a bullish move at that point for upside move. All right, so you're either long from this move here that we talked about, or you're waiting for a short, and I'd be very careful into lunch looking for the short at sort of one of these levels. And you're now, the difference is when you take the short now, let's say you take the short here, you must respect the new volume and structure, because we didn't have anywhere on the way down. Now you do. All right, so if a short sets up like this, for example, you must be covering into these, and then you're holding runners in case there's a breakdown. But remember, we hit our expected move there or thereabouts, the blue box. All right, lunch coming up here, folks. Lots of you jumping off stream. I've noticed the numbers just drifting lower as you've realised that I've stopped trading. It's hilarious. We're almost there. We need, there's about 600 of you on stream who haven't hit that like button. Just smash the thumbs up. We'll do some giveaways. What's my favorite genre of music? I don't think I have a favorite. I like blues and rock. Also like 90s rock that I grew up with. I also like garage, UK garage and house. So all sorts. Plans for overnight session, mate. How can you even say that? Are you trolling? It's lunchtime. How can I comment on overnight? We've got earnings to come overnight. I don't know where we've closed yet today. I don't know what liquidity is on the book. How can we talk about overnight? We don't know where value is going to close today yet. You're taking a piss out of me. What's my X ID? All my stuff's the same, guys. YouTube, X, Instagram, at Flowzone Trader. Flowzone Trader. Everything's the same. Do I like Christosi? I'll be honest, not really. It's not really my vibe. Doesn't mean he's not good. It's just, it's not really my thing. A bit too like fast and minimal for me. It's not really my thing. I'm not really into that new sound, other than like Prosper's new album. I think is really good. But yeah, all that Max Dean and Krista scene, like it's not my thing. Each to their own, right? Like, I'm happy for them. I'm glad to see all these guys doing well. It's just not what I like. It's personal, right? H1 looking nasty. Yeah, H1's looking like a big wick off those lows, isn't it? It's looking like it might need to rebalance this LVN here. I would imagine there's going to be some sellers hanging out in here somewhere. That's what I would imagine. Dented dummy, capex up, semis down. Well, that's it. That's what I wrote on Twitter right last night. That is going to be my trigger for looking for shorts. That's why we were looking for shorts today. If capex was up and semis were pushing up again today, then I would have probably not been looking for the short. But the fact that they were selling says to me the market's saying, hey, enough now. This is getting ridiculous. We're going to get in a position where Google, Meta, Amazon, etc., are going to have to keep swapping and raising money and having poor balance sheets to spend money on the semiconductors, on the hardware and everything else. And it's like, how much further can those go because of it? Do I have a SoundCloud? I mean, it's not mine anymore. I used to do it with a partner, but Tough Love Music, all the stuff would be on there. But I haven't made any music with him for 6 years or something. 5? No, not that long. 5 years, 4 years. So we're starting to hold value. I'm going to have to get out here in a minute, folks, because I've got to walk my dog. Starting to hold value here. So this is the question. Do they poke up into here where shorts are? Or are you going to see this? Here comes the squeeze. So they hold the value, that little last pullback held value. And they're looking to me like they want to drift up into some of these. And I'd imagine there's a sell from that point. And that sell might only be down to here. Right, and then you have to see if there's acceptance lower. If they reclaim this grey box, there are no more shorts for the day at all. That is the market telling you that it's not going to let go of this pivot and it wants upside moves for the day I'm talking about, right? Why don't I trade options? I just don't know enough about them, mate. I am learning them at the moment, but it's like horses for courses. I think I would absolutely crush it in options, which is why I'm doing my best to learn. But I don't want to just be like buying calls and buying puts. I want to learn like iron condors and broken wing butterflies and stuff like that, because where options would really help me would be in these markets. All right, and then I can make money out of this, and then I can try and put like a put here and do like, I don't know what would work in there, an iron condor or broken wing or whatever it is, and then get that move down to there. But I want to learn them properly. I don't want to just treat them like everything else. Like, oh, I'm buying a put for this move. Okay, great, but I want to use them for hedging, for making money out of chop. Don't do options when you're doing futures. Well, I'd do both. I'd trade options. I'd probably take like more swing positions in options as well. Like even in like a market selling off now. What was it that you do? Where you want to take the premium and then you buy the underlying asset at the end of it. Someone help me out. covered calls. Yeah, or sell covers. Yeah, exactly. I think those are really good. Like when you like the underlying asset, right? Let's say you really like Microsoft, but you want to take the premium on it right now. It's just such a safer way than trying to like DCA in. All right, and you're just like, well, I'll take the premium off this. We've had this move. I'll take this premium. And if it gives me the underlying asset here or here, I'm happy to have it because I know in time we're going to be back up here. I mean, it's just such a great way to trade. You're gonna pay me for just sitting in something that you're gonna pay me anyway. And when you give it to me, I know it's going to come back. It's just so good. It's such a good way to trade. Right, there's the LVN poke and first fail. Now, if you took that, I'm gonna have to get out of here, folks. You need to be covering some into here and here, and if you get acceptance under this, then you're looking for that rotation, right? Like I said, I think shorts will hang out in here somewhere. That's your first confirmation that the shorts are hanging out in there. But if you're taking that short, right, you must respect the structure now. You must cover some into this zone here. Now, once you get acceptance under there, you can try and hold back for that low of day break, right? So this is probably a 2-leg. You're going to have to keep trying this because if they hold and go again, you want to have paid yourself something, right? You have to have paid yourself something. Right, I can hear my dogs up, so I've got to get out of here now, folks. Let's see where the likes are. Did we even get to 1,000? Right, can just 100 of you quickly smash the like button, and then I can do you an Apex giveaway. Just smash the thumbs up, and then we'll give away an Apex account before I go. Well done, folks. Okay. Right, you know the score. Code FZT. Your best code for all your prop firms will always get you the cheapest price. Other than if you're trading with Take Profit Trader, use code FLOWZONE, one word. But for Apex, FundedNext, Tradeify, Lucid, everyone else, code FCT. Type it once in chat now, and we will give away an Apex account right now. And you can use any one you want. If you want the trail drawdown, or you want the intraday, or you want a 50K, or you want 150K, you can use whatever you want. All right. Let's pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Choc Smile 18. Are you here, Choc Smile 18? Choc Smile 18. Yes. All right. Congratulations. All I need you to do, my friend, email me info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube, and I will sort you out with a free Apex account. All right, bud. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Appreciate it loads. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Congratulations, those who got any of the shorts with me today. Remember, you've hit your low-hanging fruit. If you're in the counter trend long, you want to be selling in these pushes. If you were in that short, you should have covered some into that level we just talked about. It's come back. It might want more. All right. This is now telling you it's trying to hold a shelf. It's very possible that they come all the way up here. I'm interested how the market operates here. I've got to walk my dog, but if there's some sort of peak and they can't get in, there's maybe a short back down again. Any acceptance through this, no more shorts for the day. All right. That simple. It is that simple, folks. Okay. It's that simple. You don't want to be long in up here either. All right. Your long opportunity was down here. All right. You don't want to be long in here. This is where sellers are liable to be waiting, all right, in the shadows. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Let's close the week really strong tomorrow, folks. All right, let's have a really good Friday. Let's smash that like button really early tomorrow. Let's see if we can give away tomorrow a course, an Apex account, and a Lucid account. Let's have a really like fun day to end the week. All right, because we've traded well this week. It's not been the easiest to manage, but we've had some really, really nice moves. All right, folks, peace and love. Use hard stops. I'll see you in the morning. Take care.